Today, we're gonna talk about top 5 most underrated skill in Pokemon Unite. Let's go. You guys, how's everyone doing? This is your guy, Assassin Dave. Welcome back to Team 4 and Famous Family again, and welcome to another video, this time featuring top 5 most underrated skill who are actually pretty good. So if you use them properly, you will be pleasantly surprised. Now, I'm not saying all the skills that's not used are underrated. For example, the Pain Split from the Trevenant is actually just an utterly 100% useless skill. The overall stats, the effects of it are just not obvious at all. Now, the whole example is just to show you that we're not going to talk about those useless skills. We're talking about skills that is less so popular, but still very, very useful if you use them at the right scenarios at the right time. Let me give you another example to illustrate my point. Let's say Gardevoir's Moonblast as well as Psychic. Now, Moonblast is a skill that actually really useful if enemy team has a lot of high mobility assassins or speedsters or fighters, whatever you like to call them. For example, Lucario, Absol, all these kind of Pokemons who can dive you really easily. Moonblast is going to be a great tool to give yourself a little bit more mobility, a little bit more survivability, and all that kind of great stuff. As big of a fan as I am for Psychic, due to the high burst amount of damage Psychic allows you to do, you gotta understand 1,000,000 times 0 is still 0. Doesn't matter how much damage you can do, if you're not provided in an environment where you can deal those damage, you might as well go with a lesser optimal option just so that you can do some damage to begin with. Now, sadly, Gardevoir, Psychic, or Moonblast did not make it to today's list because they're actually both very popular. Today, we're going to discuss 5 skills that are actually less popular in the entire meta, but arguably and evidently more powerful than the other option in a lot of scenarios. So without further ado, the first thing that comes to today's list is actually going to be Charizard's Flare Blitz. Charizard for a long time is sitting at a very interesting spot. As a rank 1 Charizard in the world, if you use rank as a standard, I gotta tell you, Charizard is probably sitting on the bottom of the barrel, or bottom of the tier list for a Pokemon to play if you want to rank up consistently. And the reason for that is because Charizard's main win condition is to teamfight. Charizard actually does not rip objective or secure objective that well. And in a game where your main win condition is to score more points than the enemy team, aka getting Zapdos, it's quite hard to play a Pokemon that can only win teamfights. Especially on top of that, Charizard's biggest strength that helps him win teamfights and make him such a monster to go against is Charizard's Unite move. But guess what? Charizard's Unite move is actually one of the hardest Unite to trigger in the entire game. In fact, there are 10,000 skills, over exaggerating, in the entire game that can just flat out make you deactivate your Unite move. And if you don't get Charizard's Unite off, guess what? You're probably the most useless Pokemon in the entire game. Hence, introducing Flare Blitz. Now, for a long time, I think Fire Blast is just such a great skill because similar to Flamethrower, you can throw Fire Blast without stopping your movement. So you can keep on moving and keep on throwing the skill. But guess what? Flare Blitz is offering you so many dimension of benefits. You have qual control now, you can interrupt other people's skills, and you gain an incredibly large shield that allows you to teamfight really well. And guess what? That's what Charizard is good at. You need survivability, you need more tankiness. It's only going to help you become an even stronger teamfight character in the game. Another thing I really like about Flare Blitz is the simplicity of the skill, because Flare Blitz is a single target skill. If you aim the skill onto the target, you will land the skill and you will gain all the benefits along with it. So basically, you can use Flare Blitz, use Unite along with it, and I can tell you this combo will help you eliminate any enemy squishy opponents that you want to eliminate in the game. The second of the list is actually Trick for Hoopa. After the recent nerf, and obviously you can see so many tournaments, we are just seeing hyperspace after hyperspace after hyperspace. It just seemed like everybody forget about Trick as a skill, but I gotta tell you, Trick still remains my favorite skill for Hoopa. Now you might say, Dave, that is not what Hoopa's known for. Hoopa's known for the teleport guy. You can port people up and down, front and back, and they go back to base, come back full HP. It's absolutely insane. All those kind of stuff were great stuff, but remember, before Trick's nerf, everybody was using Trick with Hoopa because how great this skill was. Now, just because the patch notes nerfed the lifesteal that you can get from 40% to 25% doesn't mean you took away the insane ability of Trick. Understand, Trick still provides your team incredible amount of movement speed on top of an insane lifesteal. 25% is not something that you can just easily ignore. The most important thing about Trick is you will have uninterrupted power in the team fight. With Hyperspace Portal, you're gonna send your team back, but a lot of times you actually need a consistent team fight. I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of scenarios that you get ported back to base where you don't want to, but with Trick, you can just easily get HP back due to the lifesteal it grants you, and it also gives you movement speed, which help you get out of harm's way just as well as Hyperspace Hole. And guess what? Just because you learn Trick doesn't mean you're not Hoopa. I guess what I'm trying to say is what made Hoopa really Hoopa is the Unite move, not the Hyperspace Hole or Trick. Hyperspace Hole or Trick is actually a personal choice, but if you're playing with a character like Venusaur or Charizard, some Hyper Carry Pokemons, Trick just offers that Hyper Carry so much more protection and utility in the middle of the team fight where you don't really need to teleport back or to interrupt the team fight. Now, some people can certainly make the argument that in the Feint game, the Hyperspace Hole might be more valuable because the team might be more coordinated. You can actually send people up and down from top lane to bottom lane to top lane, defend each lane whenever you choose to. But remember, before the nerf on Trick, people were still using Trick over Hyperspace Hole. Just because you can teleport a little bit earlier doesn't mean I can't just simply out-rotate you by default. In fact, in the most recent concluded regionals in Taiwan for the championship series, we see many teams decided not to pick Hoopa to begin with, which I think might be a missed opportunity, but just to show you those teams' confidence in not leveraging the Hyperspace Hole for rotation. What do you guys think? Do you think Hyperspace Hole is overrated? Leave a comment down below and let me know. Nonetheless, make sure to try Trick in your ranked games and see how powerful and how much more your teammates might like it. Now, if you disagree with the previous two, the next one is definitely underrated, but definitely very powerful, the Store Power from Espeon. Now, here's the thing, a lot of skills are meant to be fun and meant to be used in the casual scene and not really the competitive scene. Not to say that Espeon is a competitive character, but a lot of people are judging Espeon as a competitive character. They're saying, oh my god, Side Shock does so much better because you can stun the enemy and does a lot of damage. But guess what? Store Power also offers a lot of damage, and since you don't have to aim, it's 100% accuracy. The only thing that's missing from Side Shock is the crowd control element of it, which Store Power made up by providing much better simplicity and accuracy. The thing that I like most about Store Power is how satisfying it is to use it. In fact, once you get a reset with the Future Sight on the Store Power, you can use another Future Sight on your next victim and use 2 Store Powers, with one of them being enhanced. The amount of damage that you can do is truly satisfying to watch. Not to mention, there are very little mechanism that enemy can do to dodge them, unless they're just a reflex god or just happen to use a skill that turn them untargetable, such as Hoopa's Unite or Cinderace Feint, which if they succeed at pulling off, well, they're meant to survive that team fight, and I don't think any choices on characters or skills matters in those scenarios. Now, the only true thing that I dislike about Store Power is your clear on bees. Because there's so many little bees, and your Store Power is more of a single target damage skill. If you use your Future Sight on a target, all your Store Power will go to that target like a bullseye arrow. It just doesn't miss. But that's actually one of the strengths for Store Power, the missile grade accuracy. In the middle of the team fight, if you land your Future Right correctly onto the enemy carry, the rest of your damage or Store Power will 100% go to that target, and that is so valuable in a chaotic team fight or a chaotic game like Pokemon Unite. Anyways, if you have not tried the Store Power, make sure to check out our Ultimate Showdown comparison for Espeon and try it out yourself. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the Electro Ball and Volt Tackle for Pikachu. Yes, Pikachu, the most popular Pokemon in the entire game. Since the very beginning until now, since when Pikachu was trash, all the way until it's OP, all the way until still OP right now, because how short the Unite move is. But a lot of people like to go with the Thunder combo. Now, for me personally, I'm actually fine with either one, and I agree the Thunder combo is just generally good when you want to poke large AoE, especially in a more competitive environment. But when you're playing a solo queue as Pikachu, solo duo, trio, whatever you like to call them, I do believe Electro Ball and Volt Tackle has their place, and I think they should be properly reevaluated. Now, I gotta admit, I used to be a Thunderbolt only Pikachu player, but once you play enough competitive, you realize in a lot of scenarios, it's actually much better to go Volt Tackle. This skill is so absolutely underrated and is actually so annoying to go against, especially when you're playing a speedster or diver who try to kill the enemy backline. Imagine a Gengar or Lucario. If you're a Pikachu with Volt Tackle, there's a good chance that you might be able to get out of that sticky situation by simply using Volt Tackle on the diving enemy. However, if you use Thunderbolt and you just happen to miss a skill because enemy does have a lot of mobility, well, you're pretty much toasted. When you're playing solo, duo, trio, there's not gonna be enough teammates there to protect you. When you play 5-man, even if your teammates want to protect you, the engage is usually coordinated, where it's still toasted after after all. Now on top of that, Electro Ball is also another option that's really underrated. Electro Ball is a skill that is extremely good at securing objective compared to Thunder. Although Thunder is really good at poking and they combo really well with Thunderbolt, but Electro Ball just offers you so much more if you're looking to secure a single target Pokemon. Let's say you're contesting for Dreadnought and your team has absolutely no secure whatsoever. There are a bunch of people who like to team fights. You have Serena, all that kind of stuff. You have Machamp. Going Electro Ball is actually not that bad. You can use this skill along with choice spec damage to secure certain objectives. And trust me, if you go Electro Ball, you will have a really good time in the lane securing all the Aldinos or Monkeys, depends on which lane you go to. In fact, just last night, I got one-shotted as a Cinderace at around 40% HP by an enemy Pikachu with Electro Ball and choice spec. It was absolutely disgusting. Now last but not least, I want to feature a familiar skill but somehow forgotten, the Feint of Cinderace. Now I don't know why people stop using Feint. Maybe Flame Charges give you so much more mobility. For the longest time, a lot of people were using Blaze Kick plus Feint because how much mobility it offers, and obviously the survivability of Feint is actually really good against a lot of divers, speedsters. You can really use the skill to evade a lot of key abilities such as Blastoise Unite or Machamp's Unite, whatever the opponent like to do, because a lot of times if you use the skill to dodge one of those key skills, you can easily turn a fight around and wipe out the entire enemy team. Because you can't really reposition against certain skills such as Talonflame's Fly, especially the Talonflame player who's really familiar with Fly and Eject combo, then you really gotta reevaluate what kind of skill do you choose. Even if you choose Flame Charge, a lot of time the Talonflame will use the Eject plus the Fly combo and you won't be able to prepare for it, but guess what? Feint allows you to evade it completely and turn the fight around. Now I gotta say, as much of a fan I am for Feint Cinderace, it's not the one-off skill that solves all your problems. In fact, if the enemy decided they're gonna trio dive you and your team is just playing like dumbass and they're not gonna protect you whatsoever, well, you're still pretty much going to feint even if you feint one or two skills. At this point, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop the like, subscribe, and turn the bell on to all notification bells. And remember to join us on our daily live streams with the link in the description. I stream for 7 days a week to keep you guys entertained and informed. So don't be shy and join us tonight. And remember to check out another video with the thumbnail right here.